Today, we look at the tremendous support being poured out to our country in this time of great need. There's a lot of work to be done, but together we will rebuild better and stronger. The show will also look at a very important program by the Jamaica Customs Agency, designed to help manufacturers save on imports and boost production. All the details in today's installment of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Jabertha Atkinson. Welcome.
This is a crisis, and it is one thing that we must never do, is waste a crisis. The other word for crisis is opportunity. And this is an opportunity to make Jamaica stronger. And I know that with unity, togetherness, genuine unity and togetherness, Jamaica will recover and recover stronger.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan and this is your JS News for Thursday, November 13, 2025. 98 farmers registered with the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, will benefit from a $2.88 million insurance payout to aid their recovery from the impact of Hurricane Melissa. The insurance payout is coming from the Grace Kennedy Weather Protection Program, which is administered by Grace Kennedy General Insurance Company. The government provided $7.5 million to subsidize base level coverage for each participating farmer's insurance policy. 49 of the 98 RADA farmers will receive the maximum payout of $50,000 under their coverage. A symbolic check representing the total sum was handed over to farmer beneficiaries on Wednesday during a ceremony at the Ministry of Agriculture's Hope Gardens office in St. Andrew. Describing the handover as a bittersweet moment, Portfolio Minister Floyd Green lamented the disruption of what was poised to be a record-breaking year in agricultural production, but hailed the timeliness of the insurance scheme.
10 years ago, 8 years ago, we wouldn't be having a ceremony like this nature, because at that time there was no facility for farmers to take the necessary steps to prepare themselves against these inevitable weather-related events. The fact that we now have a facility offered by GK Insurance is something that we should all clap about.
The parametric insurance product is designed to safeguard the livelihoods of local farmers and fishers against extreme weather events, including excess rainfall, drought and hurricane-force winds. Cabinet has approved a relief grant of $500 million for schools damaged during the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Dr. Kassan Troop, says the grants will be disbursed to the individual schools so they can mobilize on the ground to move out the debris and set up temporary learning spaces. She made the disclosure at the launch of National Parent Month at the Tivoli Gardens High School in Kingston. The Permanent Secretary shared that over 40 technical workers are in the field assessing the damage to inform the rebuilding plan for affected schools. To date, 653 schools across Jamaica have reopened since the passage of the hurricane. While on a tour of affected schools in Westmoreland, Dr. Troop said the ministry was exploring temporary learning spaces such as tents to facilitate the resumption of classes for schools that have been severely damaged.
When you have a disaster, it is called education in emergencies. Temporary learning spaces is a part of that. So when our minister will look at tent and so forth, it's a part of the architecture to build back until we can get into the physical space. That's also on the table. We are looking at those. We are looking at ID locations. We know that even the schools themselves, we may not even be able to go into the walls, but we can set up the tents on that compound because we need to access the bathrooms and the kitchen facilities so we can cook meals and so forth. So that's the kind of robust nature going into the review.
Dr. Troop confirmed that exam students will start returning to learning spaces next week and beyond, even if in smaller, flexible groups based on teacher availability. Recovery efforts in the health sector, where several hospitals suffered catastrophic damage to roof and infrastructure, is progressing. The Black River Hospital sustained the most significant damage and has been decommissioned in the short term. Other hospitals with significant damage include Noel Homes in Hanover, Falmouth in Trelawney, Cornwall Regional in St. James, Savannah Lamar in Westmoreland, and St. Anne's Bay in St. Anne. The Bellevue Hospital also suffered damage to the roof, biomedical equipment, electrical and sanitation services, and the stormwater system. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says electrical service and water supply has been restored at Cornwall Regional. Falmouth's water supply has also resumed. Noel Homes and Savannah Lamar are in full operation using existing power generators. At the St. Anne's Bay Regional Hospital, all operations except those at the dietary department have been re-established. To supplement care at these facilities, Dr. Tufton says 3 field hospitals and 9 temporary primary care facilities are either completely operational or set to be established by the end of the week.
Within a week, a field hospital was established in Black River to take off the load that was created based on the decommissioning of the Black River Hospital. There are 2 other field hospitals that are being established, and as we speak, the field hospital at the Falmouth Hospital is now commissioned and in service. There's a 3rd that is coming this week. That one will be deployed at the Savlamar Hospital compound.
Minister Tufton was giving an update on Hurricane Melissa's impact on the health sector during this Tuesday's sitting of Parliament. Preliminary damage to the country's road network in parishes affected by Hurricane Melissa is estimated at $35 billion. This is likely to increase when the assessment is completed. Giving the update at a press briefing earlier today, Minister with responsibility for works, Robert Morgan, said approximately $10 billion would be needed to undertake immediate response and emergency works. This will cover road clearance, drain cleaning, temporary surface repairs, and repairs to gullies. Of the $10 billion, Minister Morgan says Cabinet has approved $5 billion for the National Works Agency to sustain ongoing operations along critical corridors where access remains constrained.
1, reopen roads, including some drain cleaning. $1 billion for road repairs, and this is just emergency road repairs, and also $2 billion for repairs to gullies, particularly the Sandy Gully, the North and South Gully and their tributaries, as well as some minor culverts, gullies and fordings across the island.
Minister Morgan outlines that approximately $400 million was spent in preparation for the hurricane. Approximately 396 corridors were affected, 123 are now cleared for 2-lane access, 248 for single-lane access, and 30 remain inaccessible. The Works Minister says a list of roadways that are blocked and those that are cleared will be published. Hurricane Melissa's impact on the National Water Commission (NWC's) infrastructure and response will exceed $10 billion Jamaican dollars. Portfolio Minister Matthew Samuda gave that report during a press briefing at Jamaica House this morning. He says Cabinet has been apprised of the issues and was presented with a restoration plan. The first phase of that plan will cost $3.25 billion and includes clearing access to sites, temporary repairs to raw water transmission and distribution pipelines, and installation of standpipes in communities without electric power. It also involves the trucking of water, office building repairs, and the purchase or rental of standby generators. The bulk of the expenditure is set aside for non-emergency activities.
Over the coming 4 to 6 months, items that cannot be procured or should not be procured in an emergency way will see the benefit of a $6.95 billion restoration plan, which will have layers of resilience to ensure that as we build back particularly stronger.
In the meantime, the NWC has successfully restored water supply to customers in sections of St. James, including downtown Montego Bay, Jimmy Cliff Boulevard, Sunset Drive, and Queens Drive. These areas will receive supply from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily. The NWC is also reporting that major pipeline relocation work at the Great River intake is complete and power supply has been restored at the treatment plant. As the network charges, customers in the plant's service areas should expect gradual restoration of water supply over the coming days. The Trelawney Municipal Corporation has commenced a comprehensive cleanup of the town of Falmouth. Minister of Local Government and Community Development Desmond McKenzie gave an update during a press briefing at Jamaica House this week.
Once that is done, the vendors who are on the streets will be allowed to go in using the car park of the market to ply their trade.
The minister also clarified that no authorization had been given for municipal corporations to increase market fees. Minister of Transport Darrell Vaz is refuting claims that a relief shipment was tampered with at the Norman Manley International Airport. The response follows allegations made on social media by a prominent reggae artist who claimed that several items imported as part of a humanitarian shipment were removed by employees at the NMIA upon arrival in Jamaica. Speaking at a press briefing earlier today, Minister Vaz said he conducted an overnight investigation which confirmed that the shipment remained intact.
I did an overnight investigation, including cameras and including the custom broker who handled the shipment. And I want to make it very clear that the shipment left the airport intact as it came, fully wrapped, and everything that was there left the airport in the custody of the charitable organization. It went to a warehouse in Spanish Town, which the government has no involvement in whatsoever. So as far as what we did in terms of making sure that the goods that were meant for the people, the poor suffering people, were delivered.
Minister Vaz says he remains committed to investigating any credible reports of relief supplies being tampered with. And finally, the Jamaica Constabulary Force's Agriculture Protection Branch APB is warning the public to buy meat only from licensed and reputable outlets. The warning comes in the wake of the seizure of a vehicle transporting uninspected animal carcasses in Manchester. Lawmen from the Manchester Police Division, assisted by the APB's Area 3 unit, intercepted a Toyota van carrying what appeared to be 4 butchered cow carcasses with the heads still attached. Commanding officer of the APB, Senior Superintendent Oral Pasco, tells JS News that the animals had been improperly slaughtered and transported under unsanitary conditions.
And that is the reason why for this quarter, and as of recent, we have doubled up on our efforts to intercept such persons carrying stolen produce, especially livestock, and meats that are slaughtered in an unsanitary way in unregistered slaughterhouses. We implore members of the public to ensure that you do the smell test when it comes to purchasing meat, and only purchase from reputable organizations, meat shops.
Consumers, he stresses, must remain vigilant, particularly in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, when food supply chains may be disrupted and food safety compromised.
Look on the coloration of these meats to ensure that you're consuming inspected meats that were slaughtered in a government registered slaughterhouse and inspected by the public health inspectors. Ensure that you're vigilant to ensure that stolen meats or meats that are contaminated do not enter the food chain to cause illness.
And that's it for JS News today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.
When disaster strikes, Jamaica stands together. Across the island, Jamaicans are answering the call to help families and communities affected by Hurricane Melissa. Now you can be part of the recovery. Sign up to join the National Registry of Volunteers through the Support Jamaica portal. This is a safe and simple way to lend your time, skills, and compassion where it's needed most. Whether you can assist with food distribution, shelter operations, medical support, cleanup efforts, counseling, transport, or administration, every helping hand makes a difference. It will take all of us, neighbors, students, professionals, and friends, working together to restore hope and rebuild stronger. Visit supportjamaica.gov.jm. Click Volunteer for Hurricane Melissa and complete the short registration form. We are Jamaicans, strong, resilient, and united. Join the movement. Volunteer today.
As the country recovers from Hurricane Melissa, the support is overwhelming and appreciated. Several countries have come to our aid, hundreds of donors, thousands of volunteers, and millions of dollars in relief aid and donations. The government says thanks to everyone for your continued contribution as we rebuild better and stronger.
The eyes of the world have been on Jamaica as we confronted this ordeal, and the outpouring of solidarity has been extraordinary and deeply moving. The generosity shown to us reflects Jamaica's high standing and goodwill on the global stage. Even before Hurricane Melissa's landfall, messages of support and offers of assistance came from every region of the world. Since then, our relief efforts have been fortified by early and tangible aid from bilateral partners, regional and international organizations, non-governmental organizations, and the Jamaican diaspora. We are especially grateful for the outreach of His Majesty the King, the United Nations Secretary General, and many other heads of government who have conveyed their solidarity with Jamaica. We extend heartfelt thanks to our CARICOM brothers and sisters and regional agencies such as SEDIMA, CARFA, and the Caribbean Development Bank for their immediate engagement. Our bilateral partners from Belgium, Canada, Colombia, El Salvador, Venezuela, the European Union, the Dominican Republic, France, Germany, Luxembourg, India, Mexico, the Netherlands, Peru, Spain, the United Kingdom, the United States. A list that is, I have not exhausted. China, Japan, they've all committed support. In addition to the NGOs, which I haven't even mentioned, there are so many of them. But permit me to say the World Central Kitchen, Doctors Without Borders, Global Empowerment Mission, we call them GEM, Direct Relief, Samaritan's Purse, and of course our own Food for the Poor. We also recognize and appreciate the international cooperation that has strengthened our security response. Support has come from the United States Southern Command, the government of El Salvador with 287 personnel deployed, Canada through its operational support hub, the United Kingdom with an offshore patrol vessel, and regional partners including Belize, Bermuda, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, and the Cayman Islands, which have provided support and aerial support, including helicopter support. And Venezuela. Venezuela has provided humanitarian relief. This international solidarity has significantly boosted our humanitarian and security operations.
Are you living on or in possession of family land? Do you want to sell or subdivide the property? Use eLand Jamaica to search for details on the property. You can complete a title search and verify the owner before you sell the property. If your name does not appear on the title, register the land or clarify the existing title in your name before you sell. A title is a notice to the world of your ownership of land. For more information, contact the National Land Agency at 876-750-5263 or 876-946-5263. The National Land Agency, one goal to serve you better.
Let's check in now with the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service to hear about the Jamaica Customs Agency's Productive Input Relief Program. Here are Cecile Ray and Oreen Thompson with the details.
Are you a manufacturer or producer of primary products importing goods for your production line? Did you know you can receive duty-free importation on some raw materials and intermediate goods to support your business? Hi, I'm Suzelle Ray and welcome to Finance Matters. Today we take a closer look at the Jamaica Customs Agency's Productive Input Relief PIR program designed to help manufacturers save on imports and boost production. Joining us to discuss and tell us more about the PIR program is Orain Thompson, Monitoring Supervisor in the Incentives Unit at the Jamaica Customs Agency. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow the Ministry of Finance on Facebook, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Threads to see all the episodes and highlights. Mr. Thompson, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Firstly, what is the Productive Input Relief Program and who benefits from it?
Well, the Productive Inputs Relief is not really a program. It's actually an initiative by the government of Jamaica, where the government decided that they wanted to see exactly how best they could assist persons who were in the productive sector. As a result of that, they came up with what was called the omnibus legislation. So what the omnibus legislation did, it actually looked at all the persons who would have gotten benefits. And based on that, they decided that they're going to create this legislation that can benefit the productive sectors. Now, what you have happening is that they decided to look at the different tax types. So you look at your income tax, your customs duties, your additional stamp duty, your fees, things of that nature. And based on that, they made a decision that we have to now create legislation that can guide the sector. You ask exactly what is the productive input relief. By the nature of its name, it explains itself. So basically you get a relief from taxes and duties in relation to inputs, the things that you're going to need for your productive sector, in relation to anything that you have to do for the productive sector. You get a relief on it. And the relief is wide. It involves custom duties, the general consumption tax, additional stamp duties, and so on. You ask a question in relation to exactly who can benefit from it. The Customs Act, there was an amendment in 2013. It became effective 2014, somewhere around there. And what they did, they made amendments to the law. And the law stated in Part 5 of the third schedule, it would give you a list of all the persons on the different sectors who could get the particular benefit.
This sounds like a very good initiative that can benefit our manufacturers and our farmers. What goods or materials are eligible for duty-free importation under this initiative?
Well, I'm in total agreement with you in relation to it's a very good benefit for persons who are in the productive sector. So let's look at the type of goods now that they can actually receive. What you find happening is that our manufacturers and our producers of primary products, those are persons who belong to the agricultural sector. They get what are called categories. So you have 5 categories that they can get. They can get their raw materials, and those are goods that are not normally transformed yet. They're raw in the rawest stage. For example, oranges. Then you have what are called your intermediate goods. Your intermediate goods, they have started some process. So chances are a good example of that would be like orange juice. Then apart from the raw materials and the intermediate goods, you now have your packaging material, which of course after you make your products, you're going to need to put it somewhere or put it into something.
Right.
You have your consumables. Those are items that are used up during the production process, but they're not really a part of the final process. And what is really important, I believe, it's your equipment and machinery. Your equipment and machinery is now what you're going to use to do the activity that you have to do.
Well, Mr. Thompson, I'm hearing a lot of good tax-free benefits for our small businesses in Jamaica. Walk us through the application process for an eligible applicant who wants to benefit under this initiative.
And that's a very good question, but I also believe it's not only for small businesses, it's for the idea is that you're trying to more or less motivate and encourage your productive sector in what I just related, in terms of making sure everybody produces. Yes, it is really good to encourage persons who would like to enter the different industries because they actually get the benefits. Now, in relation to the application process, what you find happening again, we have 5 major categories. For the first 2, which are the producers of primary products and manufacturers of goods, they basically have to make the application to the ministries. To be quite frank, all persons who are desirous of receiving the benefits have to go to the different ministries. So for the first two, the producers of primary products and the manufacturers, they would go through their respective ministries. For manufacturers, that would be the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. For the farmers, or what we call people in the agricultural sector, the producers of primary products, they would go through the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining. Then the other three, because I'm putting them aside, the other three would be your tourism, that's the Ministry of Tourism. Then you have your creative industries, that's the Ministry of Gender, Culture and Entertainment and Sports. I have to make sure I keep on remembering all the pieces for that ministry.
Yes.
And you also have the last one, which is healthcare, which is the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The persons apply directly to the ministries. And from once the ministries now do the vetting process and make a determination and certify them, then those persons will get what is called a ministerial letter or ministerial order. That is sent directly to the agency from the ministry to say that, listen, we believe that these persons can get the benefit based on the activities that they're involved in. So we actually don't really interface in terms of the application process. So it's a ministerial letter or ministerial order. Number one and number two now, the manufacturers and producers of primary products, what you find happening, those will still have to go through their ministries. For manufacturers, they go through the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. The application is then sent to the Jamaica Customs Agency. We have to now go and do a visit. So we actually go on site to the factories and the farms, look at the economic activity, look at what the persons are doing, see if they can really benefit from this and qualify.
I'm hearing a lot of processes and stages.
Yes.
Can you give us an idea as to how long the process takes and how long the applicant will know if they are eligible or not?
Right, so normally, because it goes to the ministry first, for both agriculture and Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, when it hits the Jamaica Customs Agency, if everything is smooth, there are no glitches, we don't need any additional documents from the persons who are applying, it should take within 5 to 10 working days.
And finally, Mr. Thompson, where can business owners get more information about the services offered at the Jamaica Customs Agency?
Our social handle is Jamaica Customs Agency, and you can also go to our website, which is jca.gov.jm. In addition, we have numbers. So our numbers are 876-922-51419. When you get to the operators, you simply ask them to transfer you to the incentives unit. Our team is ready and waiting. And also we have a direct email. Our email is incentivesinfo@jca.gov.jm.
Mr. Thompson, thank you so much for coming on our program today and telling us about the JCA's Productive Input Relief Initiative.
Thanks for having me, and by extension, the Jamaica Customs Agency.
And thank you for joining us on this episode of Finance Matters. Remember to follow us on social media at MOF Jamaica and tune in next week as we continue to demystify the economic and fiscal policies and initiatives implemented by the government to empower Jamaicans as we chart a path to Jamaica's economic prosperity.
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. Join us again tomorrow when we bring you another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm, and while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via X at JIS News. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the production crew, I am Jabertha Atkinson. Take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.